So I want to share something I was thinking about, something that I learned at UPS, and it's called perceived risk. Now, perceived risk is something that you do on a daily basis that carries some type of risk, but the more you do it successfully, the less risk that you perceive that action of having. And a good example is speeding. We all speed, and because we don't get caught, because we don't get in an accident, the risk involved in that activity goes down in our minds because I've done it before, I've never had an accident, so therefore you keep doing it because you haven't been hurt doing it. So the risk factor goes down, but the risk factor actually stays at where it is. It's still a risky behavior that you participate in. Same thing with, say, touching a snake. You can touch a snake so many times before it bites you. And it may be a while before it bites you, especially if you have like a pet snake or something. You know, you touch it and you touch it and you touch it and it doesn't bite you. So you become comfortable, and in your brain the risk lowers. But in all actuality, the risk is still very high that that snake is going to bite you. But in your brain, you tell your brain that, oh, I've done this hundreds of times. It's not going to, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And then you get that one time. Because that's all it takes, is that one time for it to bite you. So that's the same thing with sin and the things that we do that aren't right. You know, I used to be hooked on drugs, and I used to do all that stuff, and the more and more I did it, you know, I felt invincible. I didn't die that time. I didn't die that time. I didn't die that time. And, you know, the risk is always very high. But in your mind, you know, you're like, I can do one more. I can do one more. And so, I don't know. That's just what I was thinking. And I hope that puts something into perspective for somebody, because the risk of what you're doing doesn't go down just because you keep doing it and you get comfortable with it. The risk is always where it is. It's just where you perceive the danger because you're comfortable in doing what you're doing.